Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Great League showcasing another very powerful team featuring Greedent. Newly buffed Greedent, the bulky rodent backline is back and better than ever, and Greedent will be serving as the safe swap on the Psychic double normal backline here, along with Diggersby. So Greedent draws out any potential fighters. With the body slam spam, it is able to apply more shield pressure, potentially freeing the way for Diggersby to close. So Diggersby in the back. Also buffed with this new season, and Medicham rounding out the team to handle the opposing fighters / counter users. The two normal types protect Medicham from the ghost types. As I've mentioned, the bulky rodent backline, back and better than ever. This is a team that I've run in the past and had a lot of fun with. And here we go, Basti lead, they safe swap a Medi, so I think we all know what this team might be. So it could definitely be a Shadow Vic. That is highly likely, most likely. It also could be a ghost type. And if either one, if it's a ghost type, that's the best case scenario, but we have to stay in on this Medi for very obvious reasons. Giving up an early shield, just because we want to ensure that this Medicham does not get too far out of control and is manageable, in a manageable health range. Gonna bait to the CMP tie, rank 3 Medi, coming in clutch as per usual, winning the CMP tie over most other Medichams. We do let that second one go, and now because they let all the damage through, we can just counter down and leave this matchup with a move stored. It is the Shadow Vic version of this team here, so leaving that matchup with energy allows us to pressure a shield here with the threat of a super effective Ice Punch. In hindsight, probably could have just gone for the Psychic. I think it was wishful thinking that we could get to 2 Ice Punches, but here we are. We've got our Greedent, our spammy Greedent onto this Shadow Vic here. They do let that go as they do survive one body slam. And they pivot back into the Basti, not knowing what we had in the back. It's a Diggersby, and there are few better answers to Bastiodon than a strong ground type like Diggersby. And we have loaded energy here, going for our first Scorching Sands, not expecting a shield, not going to hit quite as hard as Earthquake would have in the past, but that is okay. This is still a very comfortable matchup. And right about here, I go for the Fire Punch, hoping maybe for a potential farm down. I'm still getting used to using Diggersby again, as it has been quite some time. They were one off from another move, so I elect to just go double Fire Punch. In hindsight, could have gone just for the Scorching Sands, but you never know where your opponent's motivations lie. But we're fine here. Gonna pressure this final shield, and now it is all smooth sailing from here. Diggersby gets to the body slam as they get to their move. We shield this up, and it is just about nighty-night. Sleep tight for this Bastiodon team that we always see. We are saying bye-bye to the very annoying Shadow Vic. And just like that, Greedent, our newly buffed spammy Greedent, coming in clutch, closing the game strong. That's going to be a good game. Well played. Normal does not mean weak indeed, especially when you have these two normal types in the back. And here we go. Medicham here. Mirror matchup. Those of you who are members of my Discord will know why I prefer the rank 3 or rank 4. Those are the best Medi builds you can build for reasons like this. Right here, this mirror matchup, we win the CMP tie. The rank 3 or rank 4 will generally win CMP tie over most other Medichams, and we are seeing that play out right here, guys. Now, what we're going to look to do is go for a bait here. We don't want our Medi getting too low, but we do have to get theirs low as well. Gonna bait, and we do grab the bait, reading that there is a steel type in the back. At the very least, likely a Stunfisk. It could be double steel with a Basti and Stunfisk. Could be a Carbink as well with a Basti or a Reggie. So that's what we're doing here. But we are getting too low in the process. We do get off another Ice Punch, grabbing a shield in the process, rank 3, putting in the work. And because they're running a suboptimal moveset, they lose, and they are down a shield as well. Oh, it's a Licky in the back, so I'm still reading a possible steel type, maybe Basti, maybe G-Fist. So we're going to bring in our Greedent here onto this Licky tongue. Oh, and there are a few better answers to Licky than Greedent. Noctowl was put to rest, but we've still got more normal types that handle Licky in this meta, and this is one of the better ones here. We thoroughly outpaced to the body slams, and theirs do not do that much damage to us. Of course, we are double resisting, and they make a very lucky catch here. Onto the Steelix. Good on them for that, but we had just the answer to the newly buffed Steelix. It got Breaking Swipe, but it is not going to help them whatsoever in this matchup right here. Oh my goodness. You can have Breaking Swipe all you want. It's not going to help. It's not going to help, I'm afraid. And again, that's why Diggersby pairs beautifully with Medi, because even if you have to let your Medi go down in that mirror matchup, there is often a Steel type lurking in the back, and Diggersby absolutely feast on the Steel types in this meta. And they do let it go. We get the attack drop, and they can go for another Breaking Swipe all they want. Doesn't help Steelix one bit in this particular matchup here. And we do get that farm down. Now we're going to go for the Scorching Sands, mostly to burn the clock, but an attack drop would be nice as well here. So going for that. We don't get the attack drop, but we wanted to burn the clock to bring our Greedent in, while also clearing those debuffs from the Breaking Swipes from that Steelix matchup. And this is over. They should be top lefting, but they want to go down with the ship, and that is A-okay. Not a problem at all. We don't need to shield a thing here. They are still hanging onto a shield themselves. They're getting quite low. And with two normal types remaining, Licky just does not have a win con, unfortunately. We're going to overfarm a little bit and go for this body slam and see how much of a fight they want to put up. No, they realize, yeah, it was over. Not going to happen. But good game. Well played to them nonetheless. Oh, I'm here to tell you guys, Mudshot was a massive improvement for Greedent. And here we go. Hypno lead. Might be seeing a lot more Hypnos in response to all of the Medichams that we will be seeing this season. We pivot into Diggersby, because that Greedent's technically our hardest counter, so you never want to do that. We draw out a Lanturn, and not gonna lie, guys, day one of Go Battle League, I am still so used to Lanturn being on a 5 cycle. I actually had that in my mind for a lot of my Lanturn encounters, but obviously we will get past that as the season goes on. But yeah, I had not forgotten, but I'm just so trained on a 5 cycle with this thing that I was actually, that's how I was playing for a lot of my Lanturn encounters. But we do grab a shield with a Fire Punch bait after landing a Scorching Sands, and now we're going to go for a Fire Punch and try and get a farm down, but we needed maybe one more Mudshot to get by there. So we will play out the ones here and lead this matchup with loaded energy and minimal health. They come in with a Drapion on a loaded Diggersby, and we are A-okay with that. Gonna likely grab this final shield with a Scorching Sands. That would have hit for super effective. And now we can come back in with our Medicham, Diggersby, flip and switch. You'd love to see it. We now control alignment here. They can throw whatever they want. It doesn't even get us to half health, and they pivot back into the Hypno, and Greedent is gonna feast here on a Hypno with no shields. We do have to be cautious of a potential Focus Blast. That would do a metric ton of super effective damage. And they are there. Holy smokes, I always say, if a Hypno is farming for days, they are gonna go for a Focus Blast. It is just far too expensive to not go for that with a move like Confusion. And we do successfully shield that up. We get to this crunch as well, and we are saying bye-bye to the Hypno. And we leave with loaded energy, relatively healthy, but I do suspect a crunch would just about get the job done for this thing. Gotta get off a body slam here. This is just icing on the cake at this point. Greedent makes it to yet another body slam. Holy smokes, this thing. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun with Greedent. Oh my goodness, Mudshot was amazing for this thing. They're going to hit us with a crunch. It does not KO, and they go down to a counter. Medicham finishing off the Drapion, hanging on by a thread. Greedent put in the work there. Good game, well played. And I gotta say, guys, it's so wild to see. No one is really talking about Greedent. This thing is legit. And here we are, a nerfed Altaria. Hello. Oh my gosh, Altaria, one of the unfortunate casualties of the unnecessary Sky Attack nerf. They tried to catch an Ice Punch onto a G-Fisk, and we had just the answer to G-Fisk lurking in the back, coming in the form of Diggersby. Diggersby wants nothing to do with an Altaria, so this is the proper alignment. And we do comfortably tank a nerfed Earthquake as well, even more comfortably than we would have in the past. Gonna go for our first Scorching Sands. They do let that go, cutting the losses. Now we don't want to leave this matchup healthy. We did get the attack drop, so even without an attack drop, we would have been fine there. And now we're going to go for an undercharge here. Again, still getting very much comfortable with Diggersby. Again, I did not use it very often in the past, and we wanted to go for an undercharge and farm down, but maybe we should have hit a nice there because now we take more damage, but that is okay. We don't want to leave healthy, but most importantly, we have to throw more energy as we did trigger the CMP tie. So still working the kinks out with Diggersby, but we're fine here. We can align Medi, our loaded Medicham onto this Toxicroak. We're loaded, gonna bait. Toxicroak is quite squishy, and they do put up a shield there. And now we will play to a CMP tie here, making sure that they cannot catch our next move. We shield out of caution, and this is okay. Our Psychic was nerfed with this season, but guys, it's still enough to say bye-bye to a Toxicroak. Absolutely enough, and we're looking pretty good here. I will shield a move here if necessary to get off this Sky Attack. It's going to do massive double super effective damage. We grab that final shield, and it is looking like they are going for a farm down. I don't blame them because Sky Attack is now way more expensive, unnecessarily so. We land that Ice Punch, and it is smooth sailing here on out. They can throw whatever they want. Nothing one-shots a Greedent from an Altaria here, and we will make it to this Body Slam to close this one out with our new spammy Greedent. We are going to be saying bye-bye. Looks like they force-closed the app. I don't blame them. It's frustrating. Our Altaria was unnecessarily nerfed. I get it, but Greedent closes that one out strong. Good game, well played. The bulky rodent backline putting in the work in the Great League. It was a fun time, day one. And here we go. A shiny Gligar, not Shadow. Shadow is slightly preferred in this meta. I tried to catch, thinking that they would try and play to a CMP tie, but they wisely overfarm because that is not a CMP tie that they win. And they go for the dig as they make a play into a Lanturn. We are loaded, gonna go for the Body Slam here. Diggersby has a very strong matchup up against Lanturn with Mudshot added into its fast move pool. And we are at another Body Slam here, gonna rip it off. I don't believe they will shield this. They do not, as Lanturn is about as bulky as it gets. Bulkier than Greedent, if you would believe, quite a bit more bulky. Greedent gains a lot more bulk in the Ultra, which I'm also excited for. They hit us with a Thunderbolt. I think they undercharged that. And if I was a little bit sharper at the time, it's way past my bedtime during these battles, I would have let them take us out. Because Switch was not particularly important here in this matchup, but that's okay. We are still loaded. They get a little bit of extra farm on that Gligar, and we are going to go for a double super effective Ice Punch. They let that go, knowing that they do tank it. I don't know what they are up to here. They've got a Clefable in the back. I thought maybe they perhaps had a Fairy, perhaps a Charmer. It's not a dirty Charmer. It is a respectable Clefable. They shield. We faked a big move. We were one off from the Hyper Beam, which is technically preferred, but I went with Fire Punch just for the poison grass coverage in the back a little bit. But they didn't know that. They shielded it, and that is okay with me. We're going for another Scorching Sands here, getting that attack drop. Oh, you love to see it. And I'm thinking we let Diggersby go. It's not... Medicham is actually one of our better answers to a Pokemon like Gligar, even though we are taking super effective fast move pressure. So I was thinking Medi with a shield advantage would have been fine, but gonna just let them take us out here. Not gonna shield this. They have to throw because they are getting quite low. And now Medicham should do okay here. Gligar does not hit particularly hard. I'm thinking we farm this thing down. I wanted a 2-shield flex on this new shiny Gligar, and we are 2-shield flexing. Countering down with resisted counters. You love to see it. Good game, well played. Oh, these two bulky normal types were absolutely putting in the work, and definitely a team comp that I fully believe will hold up as the season progresses. But here we go, Swampert, we do quite all right here. We're going to stay here and take out this Swampert if they so choose, as we don't want to risk it finding its way to our Diggersby. They go for a nerfed Earthquake. We survive that, and we will look to bait with an Ice Punch here. The fact that they are staying in might clue us in that they are potentially weak in the back, but you never know. They could have a Sableye and a Skarmory. That is a classic team comp that we have seen for many seasons on. But Skarmory, I highly doubt. If definitely a Sableye, but we're going to go for another Ice Punch and look to put this Swampert out of its misery. They don't want to give up that final shield. And let's see it. It doesn't appear to be a Sableye. It's an opposing Medicham, and this is bad news. Not good. But we do still have a shield, and they did let that Psychic go, so we need there to be a Sableye in the back. That is quite possible. So we're going to stick it out here and see what comes of this. They let the Body Slam go. It's not the Dark type we were hoping for. Oh, man, probably the worst Dark type to see with this backline, and our Medicham is not healthy enough to handle this thing whatsoever. It's a Scrafty. Holy smokes, this trainer taking full advantage of the death of the very strong flyers in this meta, fully exploiting the unnecessary Sky Attack nerf. Holy smokes. Shouts to them. Zero respect, and I don't blame him. Oh, the strong flyers were hit pretty darn hard, and this is lights out. We need the top left here soon. This is not possible. One fighter, possibly, but two, not gonna happen, and we exit stage left there. Good game, well played to them. So if you've got a Greedent lurking, I would highly suggest giving it a try. It was a lot of fun and very much improved. Here we go, Miltank. They make a play to a Shadow Lugia. Holy smokes. The day one spice was in full force for sure. Gonna look to chip this with a super effective Ice Punch and pivot into our Greedent here. Yes, we are bulky, but an Arrow Blast from a Shadow Lugia would hurt. Gonna shield this out of caution. They bait, which means they want to get off that Arrow Blast, so we're gonna bait right back. This is a very safe bait. They baited, so they want to get that Arrow Blast off. They have to shield to do that. And now we go for the crunch, successfully baiting with the Body Slam. If they want to get off that Arrow Blast, we need both of those shields. They do not want to give up the shields. And Greedent has flip switch yet again. You love to see it. And oh, they got a Star Raptor in the back. What a fun team. Oh man, they are having some fun day one, and that is the time to do it. We do grab a shield, as this thing is made of literal tissue paper, about as squishy as it gets, and gonna shield. I don't think we need shields from here on out. This Miltank remaining will go down to this Medicham, but we don't want to leave this terribly healthy, so we're gonna let a lot of this go through. They hit us with the Thunderbolt, and I'm going to let them get to a Body Slam here. We want to get low. We don't want to give that Star Raptor any more farm than necessary. And we actually could have thrown another counter here to get a little bit low and to also be at an Ice Punch, because that Wing Attack does KO. But we're still okay. We're loaded on our Greedent, and our Diggersby has not yet seen the field. This thing, yeah, it can hit us hard. It's got close combat, but they are not going to make it to enough close combats to have any hope of doing anything here. They will make it to another one, but XL Diggersby, about as tanky as it gets. They need a Focus Blast to win this game, and unfortunately, it does not learn that move. That does not KO an XL Diggersby, and we do have the Fire Punch. I seriously consider BMing but I wanted to be respectful. We just go for the Fire Punch. I seriously considered BMing with a double resistant Scorching Sands, but a good game, well played to them. This is easily one of the best Medi double normal backlines that you could possibly run in this season of Pokemon Go Battle League. And here we go. Nightmare lead, kind of a core breaker for Medi and Diggersby. We had a Cresselia, but they let us get way ahead on energy before pivoting into their Umbreon. Okay, so Diggersby, now with Mudshot, beats Umbreon in the 2s and the 1s. We don't win the 0s on even energy, but they let us get so far ahead that we can now win the 0s up against this Umbreon. And we know that, so we're going to let this go. And with that much of an energy lead, we might even win the 0-1. So that means if Umbreon puts up a shield and we still no shield everything, we still win. I think with that much of an energy lead at this point in the battle, I'm thinking we can take that scenario as well. That is the power of a newly buffed Mudshot Diggersby. You love to see it. So now we're going to overload to back-to-back, expecting a shield here from this Umbreon, which you don't often hear yourself saying. And we're going to throw one and then the move yet again. And if they want to go down 2 shields, by all means. But no, we're saying bye-bye to the Umbreon. Greedent putting in the work. Oh my gosh. Flipping the switch. Not that switch really mattered because this is a core breaker. So we're actually going to shield this and leverage our energy lead on this Cresselia and get either their final shield or some very precious chip damage here. In the form of a super effective crunch. So that was brilliant. They let that go. Not sure what else could be in the back. I suspect perhaps a double dark backline. So if that's the case, we're going to come in with our Diggersby here and see what comes of this here. I'm going to let this go. This is just a Grass Knot. It is super effective, but it doesn't have stab, and we are about as tanky as it gets. So just going to overload just a little bit here, go for a Scorching Sands. An attack drop would be quite nice here to mitigate this type disadvantage here, but reading that they are throwing just as they get to the move, they're not over farming. Going to catch that on Medi. We knew what was coming because they were just throwing as soon as they got to the move, so we were comfortable catching that Grass Knot. We don't know what's in the back, so whatever's lurking, they're playing out 0s. We want to draw it out and keep Diggersby healthy. It was a Swampert. Holy smokes, so I don't know why they stayed in on Diggersby with Cresselia. Maybe a misplay there, because Swampert would have absolutely ran right through our poor Diggersby. But the fact that they stayed in and they didn't bring it in, they are giving us a shot here. Going to go for an Ice Punch bait, grabbing the shield. And because we grabbed that shield and they're throwing, we're fine. Going to let this go and let our Diggersby bring this home here for us. Oh my gosh, we're absolutely loaded. That Swampert has no shields. And we are doing big damage with our Scorching Sands and getting the attack drop. Diggersby bringing it home for us. And by the way, that animation is literal fire and metaphorical fire as well. That's an awesome animation. That is the team. Good game. Well played to our opponent. And oh my gosh, Mudshot was an insane improvement for Greedent. My goodness. Not only is it a lot more fun, but it is a lot more effective as well. As now with a 2-turn fast move, you have an advantage over opponents that run 3-turn fast move or higher. Not to mention the insane body slam spam it gets to those moves at an extreme rate, making it quite formidable in the Great League. And we paired it with the newly buffed Diggersby as well. Scorching Sands was really nice. It has stab, and you could get a 30% chance to drop that attack. You pair that with a very strong fighter to defend our 2 normal types from opposing fighters, and that's a recipe for a lot of success and a lot of fun in the Great League. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching, and keep up the grind. Thank you guys.